what we kind of figured out with Warcraft is if we tap into this pop culture, you see it in Warcraft and you see it in StarCraft high science fiction with space marines and bugs. Most people don't know that the Protoss are actually partially derived from the Roswell aliens. And so now we put our spin on them. The big-eyed telepaths, with no mouth. You would go into a store and you would see a box sitting on a shelf in a sea of hundreds of other boxes. You really just had a few seconds to sort of catch their attention by picking something that they kind of already knew, an orc or an elf or a dragon or a space marine. You had a better chance that it would resonate as opposed to picking something cool but random.
So when you're at the pinnacle of developing these games, these IPs, how did you continuously find inspiration, or did you have mentors at the time outside of Blizzard? And like, where did you go to if you needed to refill your energy as far as like innovation or creative spark? Would you go within games? Would you go to movies? Would you go to other businesses? Like, where were you drawing your creativity and your inspiration?
Everywhere you look, whether it's a book that you're reading or a movie or a TV show, but even other places, like I'll see song names and think, oh, what a creative title, or restaurant names and think, wow, that's a really cool name for a restaurant. And if you're creative, those inspirations come from unexpected places sometimes, right? One of the inspirations for World of Warcraft was actually Animal Crossing.
Really?
Yeah. And so Animal Crossing, both in terms of how alive the world felt, and we wanted to capture that in World of Warcraft and make sure the world felt like a world, but also the real-time clock. And so Animal Crossing, the time in the game is the time on your system, and so it's real time. If it's dark outside, it's dark and things close in game. And if somebody had proposed that idea without having played Animal Crossing, it would just sound insane. I was playing a bunch of Animal Crossing while we were working early stage on World of Warcraft, and when I pitched that idea to the team, to a person, the team said, "Alan, that's the stupidest idea ever." And I said, just trust me. And I had to we're probably about 40 people on the team at the time. I 1v40'd the whole team on real time and said, okay, look, I went to our server engineer, his name was Joe, and Joe Rumsey, he was amazing. I said, Joe, just put in the clock in a way that we can scale it. And if I'm wrong on this, we'll just make it a regular clock. He did it. And then, kind of one by one, people would come into my office over the next few days because we were playing, in our free time, our own game. And started at first with people walking in and them saying, I don't hate it as much as I thought I was going to hate it. And then it slowly turned into people saying, I was up early the other day with my newborn and I was sitting playing and I watched the sunrise over Westfall. And it was one of the prettiest moments in gaming I've ever had. Inspiration comes from playing games and the rest of the world, but also I always encourage our designers, and all of our developers to play on different platforms, because you'll find inspiration and learn lessons. From mobile, you can take to PC and vice versa, and console. There's so many amazing games out there, and each one of them has lessons to teach you, positive and negative, by the way. Sometimes you learn what not to do and what you don't like, and that can help save tons and tons of development time. People at Blizzard know I'm generally not a fan of prototyping. It's something that a lot of folks in our industry talk about. I'm generally not a fan of prototyping. My feeling is the world is full of thousands of prototypes that we don't have to build. Just go pick the games that are similar to what you want to make. Those are your prototypes, and then get on it.